And we're gonna get started. I think we're gonna get started. Let's advance the slide. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming tonight to this Coach Sneak Peek event, our very first annual Coach Sneak Peek event. I am Ashley Huntley. I know most of you guys, but just a little bit about my journey. I have been a coach for 5 years, and in that time, I've developed this amazing team of humans that I could have never dreamed to put together all in one place, and that I'm so grateful for. Our team has been through so many highs and lows together, and it has been a constant learning and growth experience for me. And it's been something that I truly cherish. I don't know what I would be without this opportunity. And so that's why I keep coming back for more, to be able to serve other people and share it with them.
I am Coach Brittany. I am new to a lot of you, but I am not new to the business. So I have been a coach for almost 5 years now. And one of my favorite things was I love teaching. And although not ever a teacher, I did coaching. I've taught tiny humans things. And before this, I was retail management, and my specialty was recruiting and training. And so I wanted to be able to do something at home closer to tiny humans, to be able to engage with them more and still have something for me. So I found this business, and I get to work on me and work with other people, and I thought it was a win-win. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. I was threatening a human, if anybody saw that on my face. That's what we're doing right now. All right, guys. So we wanted to share a little bit about the evening and kind of our purpose for making this happen, and why we chose this opportunity. So Brittany, do you want to go ahead?
So I was a stay-at-home mom, and this was new to me. I had never been a stay-at-home mom before. I was always busy. I talk a lot with a lot of people, and my tiny humans were quite tiny and did not do a whole lot of the chit-chat. And I was lonely, and it was really isolating. And postpartum, it's not even like the look, but everything was new. You know, I went from mom of one to mom of two, and I was like, please, this is going to be totally fine because I'm an excellent mom of one. It was different. There was an adjustment, a lot of adjustment. And, you know, I felt myself not having the same relationships with other people just because different stages in life. And, you know, I was watching and kind of looking for something, right? But you can't go out very far. And this was even pre-pandemic. There are things happening. I'm an oversharer, so I will not be an oversharer with you tonight, but there was a lot happening in the postpartum journey. And, you know, I just watched and looked and hoped and spent time on social media kind of looking for something that was missing. And one day Ashley posted this fantastic selfie sweaty. And I don't even know if she remembers the selfie sweaty, but I remember seeing the joy in her face. It wasn't the physical transformation. I saw the joy, and I was like, whatever she's doing, I want it. And so I chatted with her, and she's like, well, I have a whole bunch of people that I'm doing this thing with. And I thought, whatever it is, whatever will bring me that joy, I want a piece of that. And then it unlocked this world of genuine friendships. And I was always the girl who didn't have a whole lot of girlfriends. I am a Chucks loving barefoot girl who does not do, I know I'm wearing makeup, but this is like as much makeup as I own. So this is it. And so finding other women who had a lot of the same goals and aspirations, and even just the relatable oversharing moments, was kind of fantastic. It also gave tons of personal accountability. And that's what I found for my challengers. That's what I found for the other coaches who were doing this alongside of me. You know, when things got hard, instead of having to deal with things alone, you had the community. You leaned in harder. You know, or if you took a step back, you still weren't alone, because they're still like, send a smoke signal. We're here. We love you. It's going to be okay. Whatever's happening, we love you. And it was just really nice, because whatever you pour in, you get out tenfold, hands down. And then the passion for teaching and helping other people. I think that once, I know for my journey, and for, like I said, my challengers and my coaches, once they saw and felt the difference, you know, yes, did I lose 60 pounds? Yes. Did I help my brother lose 70 pounds? Yes. Was that the key? No, because he and I had both lost weight before going to the gym, doing other things, but there wasn't anything more. It was literally just that. And it wasn't the same connection. It wasn't the passion. It wasn't the pouring from Team Beachbody too, because people may or may not make jokes about it being a cult, but like, it's not really like about, I promise. It's so fantastic because you just find that all these people are just so committed to being better and being kind and taking out the drama factor. And it's just real. So that is where a lot of people who may not have otherwise been passionate about teaching find a love for coaching. And in the 4 vitals, it's literally about taking care of you. If you want to know what the 4 vitals of the business are, it's rocking your own journey, taking care of yourself, prioritizing your mental health with personal development, inviting other people to it, and then just continuing on and recognizing and acknowledging other people on your team for doing the things that they're doing. So it's this whole world that is there and waiting. And I had no idea. But once you find it, it's just, you don't want to stop saying, psst, you can come sit with us. I swear. You can come with us. And so that's just my love and passion for Beachbody.
I think for me too, just to add on, I know that I'm a teacher, so it would make sense that I would want to help people and serve and do all that. But I was kind of stuck, being a mom 1 year out. I didn't really know where I went. I don't know if anybody's ever been there. I didn't really know where I went. I'd always been a runner and running wasn't working anymore. And I wasn't finding peace, right? Like that wasn't enough. And so when I started this journey, having that community around me became more than enough. And then so I wanted to share with everybody. And that's what the coaching opportunity brought to me. I now know what I want to do in education beyond the classroom because of this opportunity, right? It has molded who I am and who I want to be in the future. And I'm just really grateful for it and excited for what's going to come next. So there are multiple pathways to becoming a coach. There is not a one size fits all. We have 3 major ones that we like to discuss with people. 1, discount coach, or what's going to be soon called preferred customer. What this means is you are a top fan of the products. You like 25% off. And if somebody comes along, yeah, whatever, but that's not your goal. That's not your mission. You want to be in the stadium cheering everybody on the team on. You love the products, right? That's what you're there for. The pathway number 2 is for a business builder. This is somebody who's able to work the business part-time. If they get their money back for the Shakeology and the things that they're doing each month, or they're energized that they're, that they're enjoying every month, that's great. But they're really just doing kind of a part-time, dipping their toes in, sharing as they can, or as they feel like it. If their best friend comes along or their sister comes along, they'll tell them about it, but it's not something that they want full-time income for. Just maybe getting back a little bit off of their entry. And then the last one we call a legacy leader. And this is the person who wants to build a team. They want to have this be their mission, right? They are so into helping and leading other people on their health and fitness journeys. They want this to be their number one thing. They want to go full time. They want to build a team of thousands and just make the world sunshine and rainbows. That's our legacy leader. And whatever your pathway is, we are 100% there to meet you where you're at, right? You could have 0% to do with the business or want to go 100% all in, and that's your path. We're there for it. So you might choose an initial path like inviting sounds awful. I don't want to do it. I'm just going to come in for the discount. Beware, you might change your mind later, and that's okay. Or you might come in hot and you're swinging and you're trying to get, your business built, and you realize I'm going through one of those seasons. I'm just going through one of those seasons and this is really hard. And I kind of need to put this coaching thing on autopilot. You pull back a little. That's an option too. It's never this pressure cooker. It's based on your efforts and what you're willing to put into the experience. It's your experience. So you get to pick your pathway. So some of the perks and benefits that come along with being a Team Beachbody coach are the accountability. Brittany already touched on that. But you get to have that accountability, not only from the community, but if you do bring people along with this, there is nothing like somebody else showing up to their workouts every day that you brought in to get you to show up for your workouts every day. That is definitely encouraging. When you see them doing their thing, you're like, okay, well, I'll just go grab my pre-workout and let's do this thing, right? So the accountability is there on the hardest days and on the most fun days. Britt, do you want to talk a little bit about the discounts?
Yes. So who doesn't love a good discount? I love a good discount. It speaks to my soul. And honestly, that's where a lot of coaches decide they want to start. A lot of coaches come in and they're like, let me see what the business looks like. So you do get 25% off products. And did someone say something? Okay, maybe it was my dog. I'm really sorry. I startle easily. A little deer. Anyway, so you get discounts on all the products. The other cool thing is there are a lot of coach early releases, and I know I might be jumping a little bit, but you get coach early releases that otherwise you have to wait a whole month. So you get to like test drive. That's the way I look at it. You get to test drive the program before you're willing to vouch for it, because I love a good autumn program. I don't know if anybody else is an autumn fan, but trying out other trainers is always a little bit, maybe not. But having early access to the program, getting to start it for a couple of weeks, and then be able to vouch for it later on was a big thing.
Hey guys, I think there's somebody who is unmuted. Do you guys mind checking to see if it's you? Sorry. All right, there we go. Another thing that's a really big perk is just swag and prizes, right? Like being a coach, you're going to get to participate in certain things that you wouldn't normally get to participate in, competitions. You're going to have rewards systems that come into play, just different mile markers as you build your business. You get a lot of cool free stuff, and you get free opportunities to work out with the super trainers on these exclusive pre-COVID workouts that you are like invite only, right? Like those are some experiences that you get along the way.
As far as insider information goes, we do pre-COVID, we would do in person. Now we still have our quarterly check-ins, and Beachbody's amazing. They have taken all of the passion and energy that they had in their in-person events, and they have shifted it, because their events team is fantastic, to online. So we get to find out which programs are coming out sooner. Like we know, I'm going to tell you, we know that Amwala is coming out with a strength training program for the summer. It is a specific strength training program. We know about product releases sooner. We know about, excuse me, trainers coming in for the super events when they open back up. But it's just a lot of fun, because you get to know all of the things. And if you're interested in building the business, then you get to figure out, knowing ahead of time what's coming, how you're going to plan for that, and maybe what you're going to do to go in that direction.
So like we were saying, lots of cool events. We have quarterly events in person all around the country, all around the countries, because we're on a few different continents at this point. But we also have trips that pop up that you can earn your way there. And then there are trips that you can pay your way there, right? Like our leadership conference every summer. It's a great way to be able to meet these people in real life that you might not have actually ever met, because even before COVID, we have an Ohio team, we have Kentucky, we have people in Washington State and Alaska, we have a coach in Canada. We've got people all over, and that's kind of the hub and the mecca of getting to see each other, or at these live events and these trips. And it's really, really rewarding and awesome to do.
And when you get to go to these events and see your team and these people, if you've been plugged into the communities, if you've been plugged into the challenge groups, you have a little taste of what it is to be able to make the connections and figure out who your tribe is. And so it can be really fun to not have met anybody, but over the computer, and you see the person and suddenly you're hugging and jumping and all the things, and it's very loud sometimes. Bring earplugs if you feel it's necessary, but like, it's just fun. It's like coming home. It's having that tribe that you otherwise may not have. It's having that community no matter where you live. I know a lot of people are military and they're constantly transplanting themselves. It's nice to have a sounding board. It's nice to have that, whether it's on a personal level, on a business level, people who understand just different aspects of you prioritizing yourself, because sometimes in our lives when we're trying to meet goals, whether they're financial, whether they're business, whether they're health or personal, there can be people who just don't see the vision. And they're like, I really don't think you need to do that today. Maybe can't you just skip this? Or why can't you do this? We used to do that. And having people who get it makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Also, obviously, there's income, right? This is a job. It's not a boring, awful job, but it's a job, right? This is an opportunity for income, both, in sales and in recruiting and passive income. I'm not going to go too much into that tonight. If you guys have questions, please, we will. But this is we're just kind of taking a peek into it. But there's really good opportunity for income in this. And we'd love to talk more about that down the road if that's something that you're wondering about. It's a great way to help you get to your financial goals, pull yourself out of debt. You guys, I'm proof of that. It's something that we've been able to do based on my efforts. And that's my next one, Britt. So I'm going to go down to that one really quick. The sky can really be the limit with this opportunity if you're working for it, right? If it's something that you have passion for and that you're willing to show up for on the days when it gets tough, and to help people, even though you really just want to go watch The Amazing Race sometimes and wear the snacky and do all that, it's being open to making genuine connections with people and putting yourself out there, even though it's challenging to do sometimes.
Well, and to piggyback a little bit off of what Ashley was saying, it's not a complicated business. It's really not. We give you all the tools you need. Beachbody gives you all the tools you need. You can do whatever you want with it. And it's your own business. So you literally get to do whatever you want with it. If you decide that running monthly groups doesn't speak to your soul and you want to do 6 groups a month, don't start there. 6 groups a month, do 6 groups a month. If you're like, that's a little much, Brittany, I'm going to need you to dial it down. Cool. Do a group a month, do sneak peeks, do, whatever it is that speaks to your soul. You get to figure out the direction you want to take your team in, because it's your team. And whether, when I started with Ashley, we ran all of our groups together. Totally fine. And we had an ongoing community. And then I looked at her recently and I was like, I miss having my ongoing community. I'm totally building that back up. She's like, do your thing, girl. Do your thing. It really is whatever you want it to be. You can build a huge business. You can keep it small. You can make it a discount business. You can qualify for leadership retreats. It really just is whatever you want it to be. And in addition to, I might go a little deeper than Ashley had planned. Sorry, Ashley, she's not surprised. So the other thing with that is, not only do you have us as resources, right? But Beachbody gives you top coaches in the network teaching you exactly what you're doing. And so if one of us isn't available, if you're kind of stuck, you feel like you're just, what is life? First of all, there's an answer everywhere. Google's fantastic. And then the other thing is that there are videos and trainings literally available to you whenever you want. So you can make the business this big hopping thing where you're running and screaming with earplugs, so that way you don't hurt your ears as you hug everybody. Or you could be like, I'm going to stream it. That sounds better. So it's your decision, but we love it. Otherwise we wouldn't be here telling you about it.
Absolutely. So I already know you guys came in here with some roadblocks, right? Everybody's got some ideas in their head about what this network marketing thing is, right? Maybe you've said something like, I hate sales. It's icky. I don't want to. Maybe you said, I'm super busy. Ashley, maybe you said this to me today. I don't have time for one more thing. I'm not going to do it. I'm busy. I'm tired. Today was hard. I'm not doing it, right? Maybe you're like, she sounds like that cost a lot of money to start. Or maybe you're thinking, I could never coach anybody because I'm still figuring all this out myself and I'm still learning. Which one do you want to take, Britt?
Okay, why don't I take I hate sales? Same. Fun fact. Literally retail background. People are like, liar, liar, pants on fire. No, seriously. I horrified one of my managers one time because after retail management, I went into a specific sales company and I'm on the phone talking to this person and I was like, no, I pinky swear. And my manager flips around. He's like, did you just pinky swear somebody? And I was like, yeah. I pinky swear that this is true. And he's like, you're pinky swearing people. I was like, look, I have a policy. I refuse to work for any company that I don't believe in. And I don't do sales because it's icky. I don't do that. Hey girl, here's my product. Here's everything that's happening, because it's icky and I don't like it. Doesn't speak to my soul. It's not genuine and I'm not here for it. I will give you a little anecdote. I got Hey Girled the other day, and the woman knew that I had my Beachbody business and was trying to recruit me to a different business. And I'd never spoken to this woman before in my life. And I thought, this is what gives MLMs bad names. This is it. I'm really sorry. She's not gonna stop, so I'm sorry. But I thought, if this is what people have an interpretation of, then it's my job to prove that that's not what this is. It's my job to prove that this is nothing like that. I show up for my journey. I share my journey. I chat with people. If it feels right, if it feels like it's something that would benefit their life, we'll chat about it. If it doesn't, then it's not the right time and I'm not going to have that conversation. So I feel like putting pressure on ourselves to set goals where it's like, oh, I must have X, Y, and Z sales. If you're looking at a person like they're your sale, you need to stop. This isn't the business for you, because people aren't sales. That's not what Beachbody is. It's literally, it's literally life-changing. And by sharing what you do, organic conversations happen. So that's what I will say about sales.
I will talk about, I don't have time for one more thing, because as a full-time working mom, married to a first responder who has an erratic schedule with 2 children under the age of 7, I get it, right? And it had to be a decision that I made. Which of those pathways did I want to go on? I knew I wanted to help people, and that was going to override the I don't have time for one more thing. I had to shift my priorities and my mindset to like, okay, I'm going to start slow. I'm going to see what this is all about. I'm going to do what I can. And yeah, 5 years later, my schedule is a little full, right? But that's because of the business that I made and not the way it started 5 years ago, right? So if you're passionate about this and the products that you've been using and the things that you have been seeing on social media about this in-home workout shake thing, you're going to make the time, if it's your passion, to support somebody, right? Like that's part of this whole thing. This is not the easy network marketing thing, because hear me out. And Brittany's like, oh God, what's she going to say? We are not selling products. We are selling belief. We are selling belief in yourself, right? Like we are asking you guys as our challengers, I think most of you are challengers, right? To go beyond just getting a thing that you may or may not try. Like we're asking you to like find this other awesome part of yourself when we do this stuff, right? So it might seem like the next step, like right step for you guys, right? And then that I don't have time doesn't really feel like it's a thing anymore. We're going to talk on the next slide about, or 2 slides, about how much to start. So we won't go into that one, but Britt, do you want to?
Huh? Other thing, I'm going to piggyback off you.
Yeah, that's fine.
The other thing is that I don't have time for one more thing. So before pandemic, before everybody had their tiny humans at home, I had my tiny human at home and I was homeschooling her while my husband was in recruit school and working as a full-time paramedic firefighter. It was a lot. It was a lot. But what I found was being intentional with your time actually means that you have more time. And so sometimes putting one more thing on your plate gives you a bigger sense of purpose. And so you're suddenly much more intentional and much more kind. I found that as I've been diving deeper into this business, I had my own personal things and I stepped back from the business for about a year. And back in January, it's the longest month of my life. Anyway, I found that I'm more intentional, I'm more present, and I'm kinder because I have a bigger purpose. And it's not that I am anti-stay-at-home mom, otherwise I would not be a stay-at-home mom. But I really love having a business and I love having something for me. And doing that has allowed me to actually have less time on my phone and more time with my family.
Right. So we'll talk a little bit too. If I'm still learning myself, which raise your hand if you are a fitness and nutrition and mindset expert right now. Okay, cool, cool. So we're all still learning, right? Like we're all still learning as we go, right? There's no perfect here. There's just celebrations along the way. Both of us can attest to the fact that our journey was not this beautiful path. You heard her say she's lost 60 pounds, right? 55. And then I found some of it. And then I lost some more of it. And then I found some of it. And then I lost some more of it because guys, we're human. And that's the beautiful thing about this business is we get to be human and we get to show people the whole picture, right? So if that's something that's might be coming up in your head, like I'm a really good challenger, but I'm still figuring this out. I don't want to have to be responsible for helping people. We're all in this together. We're all learning it and growing it and doing the things together. I promise.
All right. So what do you gain? Confidence and belief over time. It is not a thing that happens overnight. I mean, maybe you're coming into this with some pretty rocking confidence, then you are 10 light years ahead of where I was coming into this. I think by having personal development be part of the core to your business, you don't have a choice but to figure your stuff out. You know, you have, what I found is a lot of times, if you are not fueling your mind, if you are not bringing in those positive, constructive thoughts, if you have anxiety like I do, you get trapped in a sea of toxicity. And it's just this ongoing loop that is really hard to escape from. But once you're forced to just shove yourself out a little bit and show up a little more and differently, it can be game changing. And the other thing I will say about confidence and belief over time, a lot of people think that it's when you hit a certain size or a number on the scale. No. Confidence doesn't come from that, friends. It does not. It comes by keeping the promises you make to yourself. It comes from showing up and figuring out that, well, snap, crackle, pop, I can do those things. Like, who knew? I can do them. Yes, you can. You get long-term health. For me, I have terrible genetics. Awful. You know, when you go to the doctor and they're like, hey, so go ahead and fill out your family genetics and like check the box for all the things you're predisposed to. And I'm like, can I just check the ones I'm not predisposed to, please? Like, I don't want to be here all day. And they're like, no. Did you hear me? I heard you. It's why they're all checked. And so for me, I had many surgeries before I was even 25. And I thought, like, I have some say in this. I can't control my genetics, but I can control everything else. So I'm going to show up for myself. And the long-term health comes with the mental health, because if you're stuck in the mental toxicity in the head, because I've been there, I get there sometimes, it affects your physical health. It affects everything else. You gain self-discipline, because as much as we have community, as much as we have each other to lean on, I'm not at Ashley's house at 5 a.m. Ashley has to get herself out of bed. Ashley has all the tools. I have all the tools. We have to show up. You have to learn to trust yourself and to show up for yourself. You develop leadership skills. Being around other people committed to leveling up, you don't want to be the person in the room who's like, growth isn't for me. Not here for the growth. No, thank you. No. You don't want to be that person. Don't be that person. So you just grow. And whoever the top 5 people you surround yourself with, you start to become more like them every day. There's actually a study that says if your neighbors are happy, there's a 60% chance you will be happier than if your neighbors were unhappy. Could your neighbors, I don't know about you, I don't chat with my neighbors all that often, but if they're crabby, what? Because you're around them a lot, because you hear them, right? So it makes a difference. You have the community, you know, and it's been one of those things where I have always thrived being in person with people. And so this year was tough, or last year was tough. You couldn't be in person with everybody. You couldn't see or feel the energy, but we still had our sunshine squad every morning. Whoever was on, they're like, I don't want to work out, I'm still in bed. And we're like, hey, get out, come on, we're working out. People would sit with you. They're working. Cool, I'll sit while you get your workout done. You still have that community aspect. You ask and it's there. You just have to ask. You have personal accountability with your own journey. I was even going into that just then. Do. And, you know, somebody asked me, they're like, Brittany, I could never record myself and post it on Instagram working out. I'm like, oh girl, 60 pounds overweight. I tell this story because it brings me joy. Ashley laughs at me every time. I ordered DVDs as a challenger. And this was back when this was DVDs, friends, not streaming. And I said to Ashley, it was a group for 21 Day Fix. And I ordered 21 Day Fix Extreme. And this was postpartum, 2 babies, had not worked out in 5 years. And I was like, no, this is gonna be so great. And Ashley's like, hey, I think you got the wrong DVDs. We're doing 21 Day Fix. And I was like, great, but like, is there a difference? She's like, I feel like there's an order for me. I was like, no, it's gonna be great. Just watch. And I fell on my face within the first 30 seconds of trying to do a plank because I couldn't do it. And I thought, what in the world is happening? So yes, people see me now doing my workouts and recording it. I was wearing my husband's clothes because I didn't fit mine. I was not recording myself. You should see the selfie I took for her accountability group back then. It was very glitchy. I used a flip phone. I was one of the people who was like, I'm not going to have time for a smartphone. I don't want to talk about it. But you have that. You have the accountability. And just because you see Ashley posting her pictures or me posting my videos, we didn't start there. And what we do doesn't have to be what you do. It just means that if it's something you want to do, you totally can. And the tools and the trainings that you have, I touched into that a little bit. There is an entire page where the top coaches in the network, the elite coaches, the top 10 coaches, you have corporate mentors coming in and pouring into you. So you have trainings, you have specific methods. They are like, hey, let's do what they call a power hour to help you work your business and to learn how to use your time efficiently because you don't have a whole lot of time. And they're like, hey, we recognize you're busy. Let's help you make the most out of your time. So it really is just this phenomenal resource, the whole business. Ashley, I'll keep talking.
All right, here's where you're going to be like, oh no, she's talking about money, but I promise it doesn't need to be weird, okay? So if you're thinking about this and it's resonating with you, you're going to have a couple of choices if you're thinking about signing up as a coach. This is not a conversation to be had here. We just wanted to give you a snapshot of what that investment looks like because most people have to pay thousands of dollars to own their own business. We're giving you an option of $40. For $40, you get to have your own business. And that is the most cost-efficient option for anybody who already loves Beachbody and has all the things. $40, you're now a coach. That's it. You get to take all the tools that you already have and you get to listen to our team and learn on your own and do all the things and be a coach for $40. Maybe you don't have all the things. Maybe you don't even know what Beachbody is before you came to this presentation tonight. You can get the entire solution and become a coach for between $130 and $160 typically dollars, depending on what kind of pack you would buy. You would get everything you need for an entire year, not to mention all that tool, all the tools and all the trainings and everything that you've provided. Not going to stay here long because that's not what this is about. This is the final step when everything else has already been resonating with you. All right, Britt, this one's yours. Guys, we're not going to read all these because we know that we are talkers and we are over in time. But do you want to just pick one of these that really stuck out to you on this slide? We'll let you guys read these on your own. These are from our team. This is from our team of coaches, what they said when we asked them about what coaching means to them.
I love the helping others prioritize their well-being because that was always a big thing for me. I started with myself and I felt such a huge difference. And the first place I went was my family. My husband who does not do workouts at home because they don't work, Brittany. You're ridiculous. This is not a thing. Let's chat now. Anyway, started with him, chatted with my brother. He saw fantastic results. And the more I helped other people believe in themselves, the more I saw it affect their families. And like I said, I started with my family because I was just showing up and they're like, what are you doing? So I told them what I was doing. And watching them parent their kids differently because they believe in themselves more and because they have the energy to run around and do the things made all the difference. And it wasn't so much about losing the weight, it was the confidence, it was the belief system, it was having that long-term health. So I will keep talking, Ashley.
You're good. I'm here. I'm here for it. We're right here. Last slide. Okay. So for me, if you would have asked me at the beginning of this journey, I would have said probably something like being a part of something bigger than just me. I would have been focused on the community aspect and just that raw energy that was really just kicking it into high gear. Guys, you can work out at home. You can go to the gym. You can figure out a nutrition plan. You can do all that, but being a part of something bigger than that, pretty cool thing, right? You guys don't have to do anything for it. You just show up to it, right? Like you just show up and you're welcomed with like all the hype. But I think right now, the one that I'm resonating with the most is leading others to a life-changing business opportunity. Guys, this can be a really, really big deal if you let it be, right? And we're all learning constantly about how to get out of our own way with our nutrition, get out of our own way with our fitness, and get out of our own way with our bad habits and our bad attitudes sometimes, right? Like this is a never ending change that you're going through. Like you could come onto a team call on a Sunday, they're optional, but still we're awesome. So exhausted and you don't want to be there, but you think Ashley is going to do whatever if you don't show up, and you show up and you are crying therapeutic tears by the end of it, or your heart is pumping because you've learned this new thing that you can't wait to go try, right? Like this is a really awesome, life-changing opportunity. And that's why we wanted to bring it to you tonight, because it can be this thing you did once, or it can just be the one thing that you did that like changed you forever, right? All right. Anybody have any questions tonight? I know, don't all get up at once. You don't have to raise your hand. You just unmute. Any questions?
I'm not going to judge you if you ask questions.
Yeah, it's really okay if you do or you don't. We're good.
Yeah, I have a question because silence makes me uncomfortable. So
Thanks, Atlee.
I'm in there. I know that you said we're not really talking about the money aspect a whole lot tonight, but I'm just curious about the amount that you pay to start up. Is that like a recurring payment you have to make like year after year, or is it like a one-time, like to get you started kind of thing?
That's a totally great question. So you put in your initial investment, whether it's that $40 or whether you're getting your own challenge pack that you're going to be using for your nutrition, your fitness. The only thing that you have to keep paying every month is your business fee, your business coach business fee. It's about $17 every month. And that's because Beachbody covers websites for us. They cover links. We're not housing products or anything like that. They charge us $17. Good news is, you're a military spouse, veteran spouse, military yourself, right? You get that fee waived. It's really awesome. Now, in order to maintain active status, because we're just putting it all out there, right? You have to keep 50 personal volume. We call it PV, but that's $50 spent every month. That could be Shakeology. It could be Energize. It could be apparel. It could be portion control, like the containers, things like that. If you go inactive, nothing happens as long as you're paying that $17 fee. Sometimes people have hard months, right? And $50 is a lot to invest. And for some people, they totally forget they're paying it because they're just loving their products every month. And then that's something that they get. So $17 guaranteed, unless it's waived for you. And no super big commitment, but in order to stay active, $50 a month. Great question.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Lauren put a question in the chat. What if we just want in for the discount?
Who said that?
Oh, Lauren. Yeah,
Lauren.
then you get the discount, girl.
Then
you
girl,
rock that
get it.
discount life. Yeah, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You still get your early access if you want to. You still get to view whatever trainings you want. You still get whatever it is that you want out of it. You enjoy your discount.
Yep. $17 a month still. Right now, we're hearing there's a new program coming out for preferred customers. It's going to be unrolling in late February, early March. but it's not going to change too much. It doesn't sound like it, just, you wouldn't need to give a lot of deeper personal information if you wanted to just be a preferred customer. Any other questions? I'm not monitoring the chat at all, so if somebody can help with that.
Gotcha. What is the difference between the challenge pack and the coaching challenge pack? Nothing. It's the same thing. So if you wanted, so say you don't have anything right now and you're like, I think I want to go with Total Solution. So you get your Beachbody On Demand for the year, right? You have a choice. You can either do Shakeology, or you could do the performance line, or you could do one that has both. You get your portion control containers, you get your setup, and they just waive the $40. You're like, nah, you're getting everything else. We'll let it go.
And honestly, like what I'll tell a lot of people too, and I'm sure Brittany does as well, if people are signing up with the challenge pack, I ask them, well, do you want to sign up as a customer or as a coach? If you're thinking about either helping others down the road or continuing with your Shakeology or performance line, we can sign you up for a coach and you'll get that as a discount, right? They might say, no, oh gosh, I want to be a customer. Same price, same price.
And I will add one more answer to a question that was not yet asked. What is the difference between a completion pack and a challenge pack? A completion pack is for somebody who already has Beachbody On Demand. So you love your Shakeology every month, you're spending, the 130 on it, and you decide, you know what, I want to save money. How do I save money? What is it? Like, what do I need to do the coaching thing? You don't want to spend $40. You'd rather keep getting your Shakeology. Oftentimes with new program releases, they offer completion packs. So you get early access or exclusive access to that program, whatever materials come with that program, and then your Shakeology or your performance line. And generally that's like the 130 because you're basically just paying for that. And then you're enrolled as a coach and you'll save your money on the future purchases.
Yeah, so just a reminder too, you get 25% off and you also get 25% commission. So even if those cute little portion containers, somebody buys those for $10 and some change, hey, $3 in your pocket, friends. No, whatever the item is, 25% goes to you. And as you grow your team, you're actually earning the passive income too. You're not taking anything from your team. This is such a big conversation to have later with people who want to build I love the numbers business side of things. So I would love to talk to you about bonus cycles. But as you grow in your business and you're bringing people on, you got these little piggy banks and they're going to fill up, right? And because you're the coach that's bringing people on, you're going to be able to have that team volume, that team piggy bank that's going to create that passive income based on, the team's performance. Because this is not something where you're going to come in, take people's money and move on. I never touch any of my coaches' money. Beachbody gets that money. Beachbody gets the money because they're getting the products, right? These are consumable, usable things that you're coming in with. You're not buying a bunch of, I don't want to put anybody down. You're not buying a bunch of product that's going to stay in your house, right? You're not stuck holding on to anything. These are your things for your journey. I just get to work with you. I just get to coach you. That's the really cool part about it. Any other questions?
Ashley and I both give you guys really big, awkward smiles.
Oh,
We
it's
don't usually
okay.
people.
We're good either way. So I did want to mention, I'll go to our thank you slide. We really appreciate you guys being here. I know we went over in time. I'm sorry. That's kind of what you get with this sometimes. But we thank you so much for being here and being part of this fumbly, wonderful experience that we know we're going to look back on and make changes. And that brings me to our follow-up. We are going to follow up with you if we invited you to be here tonight and just get some feedback from you guys and just see what you thought was really helpful and valuable, what you still had questions on, and anything you think we might want to fine tune or adjust for future presentations. I'm going to hit stop recording.